Today discussion is about structures concept. First of all, let me explain what is a structure and how we are using the structures. We already discussed that using primitive data type, you can store only one value at a time. As a primitive variable can store only one value at a time. For example, int age is equals to 23. Here it is what? Int is a primitive type. Sir, if I want to store multiple values of same type, you can go with array. Array variable can store multiple values, but of same type. Let's say, for example, integer ages is a 5 people. Ages we can store here. This is our last discussion. Structure means, sir, I just want to store a record type information. Record type means what? Store multiple values of different data types. Different data types means what? Simply to say employee details, account details, okay, customer details, and all these things we can store. Clearly, we are writing. Right. So here it is. If it is a structure, let's say is an employee, employee details, employee ID is an integer, employee name is a string type, like employee salary is a float type. Like this. If you want to store multiple values, ID, name, salary, but not of same type, to store different types, you can go with the structure. Struct is a keyword. Here, you can create any data type name like employee, account, customer. Any record type information you can create here. This is the simple way of creating structure and should ends with a semicolon. Sir, how memory will be allocated and how to access means very simple. Let's say, for example, three blocks. Three blocks is employee structure, employee ID, employee name, and employee salary. Some base address. That address will store into that ID. Is any name, let's say employee E, that address will store into that one. You can access like employee E.ID, E.name, E.salary. Like this, we are accessing. Simply what is easier? Here, we are creating variable like this. Struct employee E. Here, if you store the values, employee ID, employee name, let's say employee salary. So that ID will store here, name will store here, salary will store here. That E is a address. Then how can you access? Sir, I want to access ID, E.ID. I want to access name, E.name. I want to access salary, E.salary. Like this, we access. Okay, see how can we create? First, normal program I'm writing. Regular program I'm writing. Okay, this is a regular program. Now, I'm creating the structure. It's the same structure. Struct employee should ends with a semicolon. Employee ID integer. Employee name is a string type. Maximum 20 characters I'm giving. Employee salary is a float type. Employee salary is a float type. We are giving like this. How to allocate the memory? Struct employee One variable is required. Let's say E. Let's say E. Values same like a array. Same like array. Here, employee ID, employee name, employee salary, employee salary. Creating and printing one by one, one by one. Clearly, employee ID is percentage D because ID na. Sir, how to access E dot ID? E is a variable name. Inside that ID is a value. 101 will print. All one by one, one by one. Employee name is percentage yes. E dot name. Here it is employee salary. Salary is percentage F E dot salary. All the three printing. All the three printing. Just only two means what we know already. Just point to F. All the details printing. Sir, I want to display all the details in the same line. It's easy now. Here it is. Simply I am writing. The details are percentage D, comma, percentage yes, comma, percentage F. Percentage F. E dot name and E dot salary. E dot salary. Like in a single line if you want to print. In a single line if you want to print. The details are printed. How many records, sir? Any number of records you can store. Like here it is. Struct employee, another. Let's say this is E1. One more record I want to store, E2. 102 name and is a some salary. It's the same one. This is like E1 details. E1, so E1 dot ID, E1 dot name, E1 dot salary. In the same way is a E2 details we are printing. Percentage D, percentage yes, percentage 2F. Here it is E2 dot ID, E2 dot name, E2 dot salary. E2 dot salary. When you run this one is printing the details. Printing the details. E1 details and E2 details are printing. Like how many records we can store? Sir, if I want to store 10 records, then you can't declare E1, E2, E3, E4. Array we are creating. That how to create and all, I'll explain. So first of all, sir, I don't want to give values directly. I want to read employee E, that's it. That E1, E details printing. Okay. E details printing. But the question is, sir, I'm not giving the values directly. I'm asking to enter. Printf, enter employee details. So scanf I'm giving. Scan. Percentage D, percentage yes, percentage F. Percentage D, percentage yes, percentage F. Address na, address of E dot ID. For name, address is not required because it's a string that we know already. E dot salary print. E dot ID, E dot name, E dot salary. But name is a string. Address operator is not required. For ID and salary we are giving. This is what reading. When you are executing this, enter employee details. Now I'm giving 1001 name and some salary. Look at this, the details printing. That record details printing. 1001 Harin and 40,000. This is reading. Sir, I just want to Store multiple records, like array of records I want to store. Clearly, I'm explaining. Observe this. ARR, array. Let's say 3 records I want to store. Got the point? 3 records means what? Error of 0, error of 1, error of 2. Simple example first. How the memory will be allocated? This one. Error of 0, error of 1, error of 2. This one. ARR. But actually, this is not a simple integer. It's an employee record. So, error of 0 is connecting to this one, which contains name, name and salary. Next, second record, same. Error of 1. Third record, error of 2. So what is that meaning? Very easy. Look at this. Error of 0 dot id. Error of 0 dot name. Error dot 0 dot salary. Error of 1 dot id name salary. Error of 2 dot id name and salary. Like this. So clearly, I'm taking one variable I because array. Then we are asking, look at this. Enter 3 employee details. Enter 3 employee details. But again, most clearly, once again, I'm asking. I'm repeating the loop 3 times. 3 means 0, 1, 2, 3. I equal to 0, I less than 3, I plus plus. Now look at this clearly, I'm asking. Enter employee 1 details. 1 means I plus 1. Sir, why? See, location is 0, but it's a first record, na? So employee 1 details. So I value 0, 0 plus 1, 1. When I value 1, 1 plus 1, 2. When I value 2, 2 plus 1, 3. Enter employee 1 details, employee 2 details, employee 3 details like this. So we need to scan. Scanner. Look at this. Percentage D, percentage yes, percentage F. This is important. Error of 0 dot ID, error of 0 dot name, error of 0 dot salary. But in place of 0, I. Because first time I value 0. Second time I value 1. Third time I value 2. Reading. Sir, after reading, just printing. Same one. Look at this. Employee details are employee details. Simply employee 1 details, employee 2 details, employee 3 details. Just with the comma separator I am printing. Look at this. First I plus 1. I'll explain clearly. Don't worry. Right. First of all, the code, how the code gets executed, I'm showing now. Is the code. Now when you are executing, enter employee 1 details, 101. Name is a salary. Employee 2 details, 102. Name, salary. Employee 3 details, 103. Name, salary. All the 3 details are printing now. Now let me explain how it executes. First of all, how it goes. Memory will be allocated like this. Error of 3 means what? Total 3 records. Is a first record, is a second record, and is a third record. This is array. Array size is what? 3. ARR, ARR. Array 3 locations. So 0, 1, 2. 0, 1, 2. This is ARR of 0th record. This is ARR of 1 record. And this is ARR of 2 record. But in each record, ID, name, salary. ID, name, salary. ID, name, salary. This is ID, name, salary. Got it? Now observe. Repeating 3 times. First, what is that I value? 0. ARR of 0.id, ARR of 0.name, ARR of 0.salary, ARR of 0.id, ARR of 0.name, ARR of 0.salary. So into these locations, the values will go. Whatever the values you enter first, all the 3 will go to this one. Second, what you enter will go to this one. Third, what you enter will go to this one. And then we are printing. So first, employee 1 details. Here it is. Because I value 0 na. So 0 plus 1, 1. Employee 1 details are printing ARR of 0.id, name, and salary. Next one, I value is become 1 into this one. These values are printing. Next, here it is. When I value 2, these values are printing. Just, sir, if it is a single record, so directly you can create the variable and you can access. But sir, suppose if it is a multiple values, multiple records I want to store, then we are storing in this format. Okay. Now, so one more thing. Sir, I just want to read employee ID, employee name. Okay. But substructure I'm creating. Look at this. Structure inside the structure. How? This is very easy. Look at this. Inside the structure means not here. Struct, let's say address. Address contains street and city, or let's say street or city and state. City is a 20 characters. What is the state is a 20 characters. Let's say consider. Now this is how memory will be allocated. I'll explain. Listen, is very important. Here, right, employee so contains ID, name, and address also. But address is which type? Address type. ADDR, address. This is what? Creating structure variable inside another structure. Simply to say, nested structure. Nested structure. Sir, how memory will be allocated? Look at this. When you are allocating memory to this employee, employee contains employee ID, employee name. This is like an employee structure which contains employee ID, employee name, address. But this is address, na? Address is a structure again. So this address is connected to this one, which contains again, address contains city and state. So then how to access? Look at this. Employee.id. This one how to access? Employee.id. Okay. This one employee.name. Okay. But this one employee.address.city. employee dot address dot state. Multiple dots we are using. See, now just employee, EMP I'm writing. Any name. Then again we are asking clearly, enter employee details. Scanf. Observe this. Employee ID, employee name, employee city, employee state. Now if you observe clearly, first employee dot ID, next employee dot name, but employee dot address dot city, employee dot address dot state. Only for first one ampersand is required, but remaining three ampersand is not required. Sir, why? You know already, because it's a string. Simply the details are printing the details. Printing. Just here it is. Name. Here it is city and state. All we are printing. All. Same. How we are printing? Just remove the ampersand and then execute. Just run it. Run it. ADDR. Address. Same variable we have to use. Employee details. 111. Annie. Right? For example, Hyderabad. Is a state like say Telangana. Look at this. All the details are printing. All the details are printing. This is what writing one structure variable inside another structure is called nested structure. Only thing is what? How the memory will be allocated is important. Just whenever you are creating memory to this employee, first employee memory will be allocated. But in employee ID is there and employee name is there. It has some address. That address will store into this employee so that it is pointing. But here again ADDR is there. Na? What ADDR? ADDR again separately memory will be allocated at another location. That address will store here. That address will store here. So which this address contains what? Here it is a city and state. So employee.id, employee.name, employee.address.city, employee.address.state. So this is how the memory will be allocated, how we are accessing that information. This is the one. Hope you got it.